Isn't it? And boy, them such a we say yo charge it where you are deal with. We say to hold Israelite just treating. Say the pressure so but they are keep. Yeah man. Alright, so class up to start in the next 3 months to official intro. And meanwhile, go on top up, go on share, you know what I mean, another thing there. Don't let you see you right and yourself damage feeling fly. Time and man can't see. I take it on and speak on this. I walk in Irasi. I must boy come a show man. Bigger heads we see don't want the big pie. We no like to not keep it style. No rap get to you tired. We a smile. Remember to just leave it. Going to police when they leave you. Crying. Try to be this time. Bad as I say, but a queen in giant. Alright, clap it up. Welcome again to another I.S.U.P.K law class Wednesday night law class. My name is Priest and Officer 500 Kayad 1 from I.S.U.P.K Jamaica under commanding General YAHANNA. Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Thumb to my brothers. Shalom, Yahweh Shamar Allah Shem Yahweh Shai to my sisters. Zin? Alright, so now we're going to continue to elaborate on the Africans' role in the transatlantic slave trade. You know what I mean? Very important discussion because our people over here who are victims of the transatlantic slave trade, you know what I mean? They are unaware that the transatlantic slave trade would have not taken place unless the Africans were complicit. Let me say that again. The transatlantic slave trade could have not happened if in place the necessary things for it to happen. You understand? All right, so we're going to break it down. We're going to play some tapes of Africans apologizing. They're stunned more. I mean, you yourself can Google Africans apologizing for the transatlantic slave trade. It's there. You won't see it if you not look for it, but it is there. You understand? Africans are, you know what I mean? They know the role that they played in the transatlantic slave trade. You understand? It is no, we call it secret in Africa. See? It's a secret to us over here who have been cut off from our history. You understand? Cut off from our culture. And because we were taken from Africa, the only thing we can fathom in our mind, the only thing we can say is we have to be the Africans. Afi. You understand? Because of our lack of history and knowing how the world was before this modern world over here in this new world that we live. The new world kind of like a plantation, and it is, no kind of. It is a plantation. See? For the most part, our people don't 99%, more than 99%, 99.999% of our people never leave the country them born in. Never leave. You understand? Never leave. Never leave. And you have another percentage, you know what I mean, a high percentage, you never leave the community where them grew up in. Never leave the community like many of the youth them grew up in the garrison. You understand? When I say leave them community, them no guys probably from town to, you know what I mean, from to the city back to them community for the most part. So when you talk about knowledge of the wider society and knowledge of the wider society throughout history, our people now have them knowledge there. But where I get that from? And nobody now gonna make it them obligation to come tell you outright, this is your history. We have some leaders and some religious leaders who, you know what I mean, are deliberately deceptive, are gullible themselves, who don't know nothing either, who don't have the means to, you know what I mean, go and do the proper investigation, or the will. Them don't have the will. Muta Baruka to me would have come like one of them who don't have the will for a motive, and that ulterior motive make money for him. You know what I mean? It put money in him pocket. It make, you know what I mean, him radio program keep on the ear. Even though he know and him pass the knowledge to know say what him teach is incorrect. But him don't take the time to correct him followers them to say, boy, you know, say that what we that push it not right. Him just continue with it. And he even probably lie to himself. We know me around town a bit, but you know what I mean? We just show you the circumstances as to why we don't know certain things. We religious leaders them have an ulterior motive. And the ulterior motive, it put money in them pocket. So them now got say, yo, you know, say, boy, we have preached this Africa this from long time, but guess what? Our thing not really, and just Africa, it's stopping up. So we who were brought over here in the transatlantic slave trade, we are not the native Africans. We are not native to that land. There was a conspiracy, you understand, to migrate a certain people out of a land because guess what? We were a nuisance to the Africans then. Not a nuisance in a way like we were oppressing the Africans, but they couldn't bear to watch us prosper in them own land. You understand? Them conspire with their long time, yet persecute us to get us out of them land. That is the transatlantic slave trade. And who is our long time persecutor? The oppressor, the Romans, who definitely know who we are because they are the ones who destroyed our homeland. You understand? And these oppressors, talking about white people, them have somewhat of a connection to us in terms of, you know what I mean, history. What I mean? I don't mean we and them are the same. And that me I say. See, what I'm saying is there has been a long time beef between we and the blonde-haired, blue-eyed devil. See, there is a prophecy, you know what I mean, and we are going to Bible now. See, which the oppressor and him race know about. That if I know them, are we. So that is why the persecution did have to continue. That is why then the effort to cut we are from history. Because if I know them are we, when you look back in the history, them see that. But that is another, you know what I mean? When we are break down the scripture, we are going to go through that. See? But, like I said, the Caribbean, Haiti, North, Central, and South America are not native, were not native to the land of Africa. Hence the reason why there was so. You understand? All right, we're going to jump into some things now. See? All right, I'll put this back over here. So. In the meanwhile, remember to like, share, subscribe, depending on the platform you're watching on. You know what I mean? All right, first, what I'm going to do, I'm going to read some scriptures. Psalms 83, I will start at verse 1. You know what I mean? The reason why the scriptures is very important for we. Don't make nobody tell us, say, yo, oh, yeah, read from the Bible and read it. It is very important for we because the Bible belongs to us. Our records is we wrote this. And we wrote this for guidance. We wrote this like breadcrumbs so that we can find where we are. You understand? And of course, the Bible is inspired by our God. You understand? This is the book of Psalms chapter 83 and verse 1. And it said, keep not thou silent, O Yahweh, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh. Why? Verse 2, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. Wait me, hate the most high, lift up high, and acting against his people. See? They are making a tumult, they're making noise. You know, like, you know what I mean? When them say something, somebody are make noise, it don't really mean like them are make sound, you know. It's like great. Now these heathens have become great because we fell. You know what I mean? They are making a tumult. They might take over the earth now. They might rule it. You understand? And by them doing that now, what they might do, they might trample all over the Most High's heritage, which is the children of Israel. Adolphus Lamb, last Shalom, brother. See? Let me continue, verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel, and this is the important part. You have to know now. So it said the heathens have taken counsel. You know what I mean? These things would have never been relevant to us or important to us if it never was for the I.S.U.P.K and a commanding general, YAHANNA. You know what I mean? Because if you're in a Christian church and you read the Bible and it said the heathens have taken crafty counsel, what that have to do with nothing? But by looking at the words used, you're saying, you know, say something important that go on, you're saying, so you have some people who are heathens that have taken counsel. What is counsel? They have come together with each other. You know what I mean? And communicate, devising, making plans. But for what? See? They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. That is the important part. Them come together and a crafty counsel against the Most High's people. That is the tumult that they were making. See? And consulted against thy hidden ones. Why the Most High referred to in people as the hidden ones? Because our identity is lost in the earth. Nobody knows who we are, neither do we. We are the hidden ones. Hear them say, the last tribes of Israel. More time you watch some documentary and them tell you about the last tribes of Israel. Where are they today? And then they don't claim, say the Jewish man are the Israelite. So I want to still a search for the last tribe of Israel. I want to say the Jewish man is the Israelite or is a Jew. It's because the last tribes of Israel is still lost today. And the people calling themselves Jews are not the Jews. See? So we are the hidden ones. We are hidden in plain sight. Hidden right, you know what I mean, at the bus stop, getting ready to go to work, right on the corner, rubbing over with Anmiggle, smoking a joint, you know what I mean, on the street side, walking up and down in the streets, lost, hidden, not knowing who the hell we are. We are the hidden ones. You understand? Verse 4, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. And no, that is very important to us breaking down the transatlantic slave trade, because that is, you know what I mean, the main motive of the transatlantic slave trade and the persecution that we went through. See? And try to cut us off from being a nation. Erase everything behind we. And you have some smart mouth people on the internet who will come and say, yo, you have Egyptian mummies where they might find for thousands of years. And them can't find, I know them can't find no biblical character. That for one is a lie. You know what I mean? And two, the reason why you can't find as much as the Egyptians them is because they make an effort to cut off our history completely. See? And them is natural them are gonna do it because them enslave we. Why would they leave any breadcrumbs for us to go search and find? But wait, hold on. So we are God chosen people. I'm gonna find out a little bit more about this. So, you know what I mean? We have a covenant with the Most High, the Creator. So all the white man talk about white Jesus. The information we pushing go on mainstream. Them even don't even pay attention to us for say, boy, yo, them money are, you know what I mean? Them even put up on CNN to say, them money are preach, you know what I mean, some kind of doctrine that is not good. Them just don't talk about none at all. Because you know what them say, any publicity is not bad publicity, it's good publicity. So if them even say, which sometimes they make the error and do it, and then we get millions of views, but them not do it too often. And them know say once them open that floodgate, I done it done. And the I.S.U.P.K has been around from 1969. So if you can imagine, we they around from 1969, I want to just a year about we. Just a hear about, just a hear this. And many I want to hear from other sources where learn around one part from somebody who learned from we. You understand? Them never want to give us any publicity because once that door is open, you can't close it. It's like a Pandora's box. And that is why the information that we are bringing out right now about the Africans, you know what I mean? It no sit well with certain people. But you can't deny the facts and the history. You can't deny it. See? It now go sit well with you if you have always been a lover of Africa. Me, myself, have always been somebody who say, yo, black people, this and rare before the truth. See? Now me even more black conscious because now me know say black is an exclusive thing. Being a black man is, you know what I mean, exclusive. And it don't mean being an African. You understand? Really and truly, if you really want to be black conscious, you need to get inside the I.S.U.P.K because this is real black consciousness. You understand? Being conscious of the fact that we and them Africans are not the same people. Let me continue reading. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. And that is what they have done. The name of Israel for so long, until the I.S.U.P.K and the commanding general, YAHANNA. For so long it has been no more in remembrance. We certainly didn't know that we were Israelites. You understand? We never know that. We never even consider it. Christian perspective, you know what I mean? And we willingly bow down and serve that white Jesus. As if this same white man never enslaved. You can imagine that is a serious level of forgiveness we have, you know, that somebody genocide with people, force us to work for free. You know what I mean? Torture, scare us for life, scares that will last generations. And we still worship them as God. You understand? We must be God's people because only God people alone can have such kindness in their heart and not do what the Muslim and other nations would have done. And we know what they would have done, and we don't do that. You know why we don't do that? Because we don't stay so and we that. We are not we are not savages like them. We are royalty. When we are dealing with things until Christ come, I mean. See? Yeah, man. So back to the topic now. See? What I said, look, how would you have known that your history did not start in Africa? When Africa is a place full of dark-skinned people that you think look like you, how would you have known that your your history, the history of the people who were brought over here in slavery, went further back for thousands of years, and it started in the Middle East. You wouldn't have known that. How would you have known that? Well, we're there for show you now. See? All right, we're going to play some video. You understand? And all right. Now I'm going to hear the audio on this class. See? Because I play the video from a different computer. Right? And it will kind of hustling to send it over to this one. See? Yeah, kind of that work back and forth. So here what? We'll play these Africans apologizing for them rolling at the transatlantic slave trade, which we heard that black people sold black people into slavery, but we never focused on it before because we thought that, well, I did black people sell black people in slavery. In other words, our own people, and this, you know, and this defeat we do, you know, sorry for sidebar. This is how them use and nullify we and tell we forget about slavery. When that we say, true man, I better we load that slavery thing, yeah, man. Yo, move on from that, yeah, man, because black people corrupt too. Virgin, I never your people sell your own people in a slavery. See? All right. Yeah. So this notion that black people sell black people in slavery, it kind of killed the zeal we would have forget with retribution. Because now we are going to say, our fault, yeah, man. Yo, our own people sell we out. So, yo, low white people and rare. I mean, I say, for the white people now. Religions in Jamaica. So you just tie yourself to the Africans when in time past the Africans never want to tie themselves to you none at all. They never want nothing to do with you. See? We're going to play this tape. This is some delegation in Ghana basically making an official apology, which we do not accept. See? For them part where them play in the transatlantic slave trade. Remember, like, share, subscribe, depending on the platform you're watching.
We are very privileged to be with you, particularly our brothers and sisters from the Caribbean and the diaspora. And the people from all over. I wish at this point to particularly to apologize deeply on behalf of the chiefs and people of Gold Coast and Ghana for the atrocities, the cruelty, the inhuman treatment that were committed 400 years ago by my ancestors.
All right, so I open our hearing. Good, Jane. So this African leader, the chief and people of Ghana, one of the largest region. All right, they don't state him name right, that's all right, I know, but I get him name and I get him. Say, he must give him deepest apologies for the atrocities committed by his ancestors. You understand? Of his so-called brothers. The brothers them say, you know, but we'll play a video and show you that they did not consider us brothers. One person will make the statement, say, no, them want to consider us to be brothers, but we were not brothers to them back in the past. See? For their trust and, you know what I mean? For them basically selling us in the transaction. This video, we may now go can play right now. We want to see it as the wallpaper on TikTok. This heathen basically, him basically I tell you how the inhumane treatment took place on that particular slave port that they are at right now. The picture that you see is a screenshot. Zin, and he's saying that whoever survived because we were stubborn, them destination was the Caribbean, Haiti, Jamaica, Trinidad, and so forth. Treated us on these slave ports was not good. It was not a good treatment. It was so bad that some of us didn't even survive. I wouldn't reach on the slave ship yet. You understand? Let me continue playing this tape though, of the apology.
Where over 400 years ago, millions of our brothers and sisters were captured, sold, and transported under inhumane and cruel circumstances.
All right, so you hear him say, millions of his brothers and sisters were captured. See? First and foremost, we and the Africans, them are not brothers. See? Secondly, remember when everybody has say, yo, how the white man going to Africa and captured, you know what I mean? Black people, no such thing took place. No such thing took place. That is a lie. That is a part of history. That is a lie. You understand? Yeah, all right. The internet problem we may have right now, kick me off of TikTok, we're going to jump on back. You know what I mean? Right now. So lucky about that. Yeah, we have some poor internet, but regardless of what, the information have to go out. It's lucky about that. So guess what? Remember what them say, yo, you know what I mean? The white man went into Africa and captured slaves and all them things there. No such thing happened. It was like what this he then says. His forefathers captured other, you know, and sell them on these slave ports. You understand? I did a video last week. No, this Monday gone. Well, no, I did a previous video to that. So last week, Thursday, where may I show you that there was slave on the coast of West Africa. See, the screenshot, they are at this slave port, and this African is giving them a tour, giving the sister this, you know what I mean? This look like one sister, and he's giving them a tour at this slave port. See, this port is where the trading take place. People who was captured by these Africans were brought to the port, and when the slave ship pull up, the slave master now come and he's able to make a bargain with the Africans. You know what I mean? Whether they want wine or they want guns, because the guns were very essential for the Africans there. Because this is the tool that them use to overpower with, because the Africans, them, they are not warriors like we. See? But them are the guns that the oppressor gave them. And that is how the trade went. You know what I mean? Wine, guns, food, anything, if them bring slaves, if them capture the Hebrew, the Israelites, whatever amount you have, the condition, them get guns, wines, and and all sort of things that the oppressor have for them. You understand? We'll play some more of this. So like to those on TikTok, the live just cut off a while ago because the internet kind of slow. But bear with me.
Through Elmina Castle, across to the Caribbeans and to the New World. On behalf of the chief,
just stop up back the screen and give back the live. You know what I mean? The momentum that it had a while ago. Just stop up the screen.
I do render unqualified apology.
Right. So him render unqualified apology. And him apology is unqualified, and it is not acceptable. So now take a good look. Just hear what the I.S.U.P.K say. Look into the details that we are bringing out. You know what I mean? We are saying that we are not the African native to the land of Africa. We are the people who migrated to Africa because we were being persecuted in our own homeland. They never give us no good hospitality. Then, like the fact that we were prospering in them land, so what they did, they team up with the oppressor. Let me read back Psalms again. We'll go back to Psalms. See? And it said, they have taken crafty counsel, Psalms 83 and verse 3, 87, 83 and 3, against thine them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. That is our name, Israel. We are the Israelites. We are the Jews of the Bible. The Bible is not a religious book. It's a book, you know what I mean, Israelites. You understand? We are the real Jews. You understand? And these Africans, as well as the oppressor and other nations, have conspired to cut us complete nations who came together. Verse 5. For they have consulted together with one consent against thee. Verse 6. Who are these nations? Edomites are the main one. That is the oppressor. Esau, the Edomites, the Greeks, the Romans. See? The British. You understand? The French, the Portuguese, the Spanish. See? These are the Edomites. He's the main one. You understand? The Ishmaelites. Now, who are the Ishmaelites? They're talking about the Arabs. You understand? We see where Chief Curry is now claiming that we are Moors, trying to mix the Maroon history with the Moor history. When the Moors were Arabs. The Moors were not, you know what I mean, Israelite, nor were they Africans. They weren't even Africans. They were Ishmaelites. They were Arabs. You understand? Some of them dwell in Africa, but you know what I mean, in Morocco. But they were Arabs. They were not even Africans. Then, well, the Moors, they are complicit in our slavery. I will bring that out already too. How them used to capture people and sell too. Everybody was in this. All right. You see, like we have the AI boom today, you know, the Silicon Valley boom, where everybody wanted to get in on this because this was the thing that was making money. Remember how them have the cryptocurrency boom? Well, in this time, catching and capturing and selling slaves was the boom. Everybody was in on it. You understand? The Africans were in on it. The Ishmaelites, which are the Arabs, were in on it. See? And the Edomites. These are the main three people. Them. Eventually, other nations start getting, like, let me continue reading. The Moabites, which are the Chinese. See? The Agarenes, these are Africans. See? Cabal, I think is the French, if I'm not mistaken. I have to check back with Captain Nayataka, Officer Abadawa. See? Aman, these are the Japanese. Amalek, this is the fake Jew of Edomites. You understand? Is Esau's grandson, I think. Yeah, Amalek. Esau grandson, but he's the major tribe in Esau, the white man. Him rule the world literally. He's the one claiming to be us that insure slaves during the time of the transatlantic slave trade. Every insurance company in you know what I mean, that exists today started from an insurance company that insured slaves. You understand? Every bank that exists today was a bank back in the past, or came from a bank back in the past that gave loans to people and companies to buy slaves. Every shipping company today, then came from a shipping company that used to ship slaves. You understand? So the world economy today was built off of slavery. That more want to understand, you know. The world economy today, the wealth that the world have today comes from our slavery. You understand? Somebody named YAHANNA 36 said Chief Curry needs us. So you have the white man, you have the Philistines, then more Africans, then with the inhabitants of Tyre and Sudan, Africans, you understand? Assur, I remember who is Assur. Saying the children of Lot, those are the Chinese, the Japanese, the Koreans. You understand? These are the children of Lot. You understand? So basically the entire earth benefits somewhat from our slavery. But why would it go so? Because we are God people. We are special people on the earth. You understand? And as I said during this time, there was a boom, there was a slave boom, the slave market, you know what I mean? It was now profitable to sell and capture God's people and benefit from the transatlantic slave trade. Everybody was getting rich off it. Every nation did a build themselves off it. You understand? All right, we're going to play the next apology. And this apology is when, you know what I mean, this individual, him a tour one of the slave ports. I think, well, it's not this one, but the video that I did, that slave port was in it. So just reference back to the breakdown page, the breakdown podcast page. See, go back to that video and you will see it. You know what I mean? And I did a video Monday, which is very, very informative, Bridget. But TikTok, I hold down that video there. I tell us, yo, some videos what we do should have viral a long time. That's why we always telling us, say, screenshot the thing them because we know more go viral than we because we are being suppressed. You understand? And like some Rastafarian can just come up on the internet and say, oh, SHALAM, I will not this the brother, you know, and him go viral. Because that a gimmickry. See? We, the information where we are put out, can help our people, can free our people. So, you know, I go find it, I go too viral too often. And this is at one of the slave ports. If I go say the name, you know, I mean, without further ado, let me just play it.
Those who died, rest in peace. Those who return, find their roots against humanity, and we, the living, vow to uphold this.
Something at the castle. Hold on.
Those who died, rest in peace. Those who
I think this is one of the famous one then.
Humanity never again perpetrate such injustice against humanity, and we, the living, vow to uphold this.
Elmina Castle. Yeah. Yeah, in Elmina Castle. So there's a slave port in Elmina Castle. that looks like a castle. It's one of the most famous slave ports. See? The oppressor didn't go far beyond the coast of Africa. You know what I mean? He did not go and catch black people. Black people were brought to Emina Castle. They were brought to other slave ports like this one that you're seeing on TikTok. See? They were brought there and traded. The trading didn't start over here in the West where the oppressor put us on action blacks. It started on the west coast of Africa. You understand? Let me continue playing this.
Slave exit to getting goods.
There's a sign. Slave, we see it again. There's a sign. Hold on. Slave waiting boat. Slave exit to waiting boat. Meaning, this is where the slaves come. You know what I mean? And this is the waiting area to be sold. But why would you need to sell slaves in Africa? Who was selling slaves in Africa is a serious question we need to ask. Was the oppressor selling slaves to oppressor in Africa? I want to think, because we're going to the answer shortly, We're going to the proof shortly as to who was selling slaves on the west coast of Africa. Because again, like I said, these were slave trading areas on the west coast of Africa, slave ports. See? So who was trading slaves? Who was selling slaves in Africa? Was it the oppressor? Let's continue playing this. We're going to show shortly.
As we walk out the castle, we all carry a lot of responsibilities. We are just going to preach against injustice. And from now onwards, we see ourselves as brothers.
So from now on, him say, him will see us as him brothers. Well, guess what? We are not brothers. You understand? We and the Africans are not brothers. Zane, you have to look at it that way. We are not brothers. You understand? And when we come here and talk this, some people say, Virginia try to separate black people. What is there to separate? The Africans separated themselves from us 400 and odd years ago. Where you talk about? Where is the Africans living amongst us? Where is the Africans, suffering in the ghetto with us, going through what we go through? Where is the Africans that suffer from Stockholm syndrome and all of the, what I call it now, the scars that we went through slavery? There's no need for a separation because we already separated. What we are doing right now, what the I.S.U.P.K and the Commanding General YAHANNA is doing, is uniting black people, which are the descendants of slavery. See, people who sold you in slavery sold you because they knew that they were not your people. You trying to join the African, like if you try to join the oppressor, you're separating black people. If you join any other nation other than your own, you are joining yourself to a people that is not your people. Therefore, taking away from your own people. I hope you understand. For example, the Rastafari community that says we need to go back to Ethiopia, go to Ethiopia. We were never in Ethiopia. See? To go to Ethiopia, they are separating black people because no another nation. That is separate. You understand? A nation that don't even identify themselves. A nation who, when you come amongst them, they oppress you anyway. They exploit you. They unalive you. Something where the Rastafari community don't talk about. See? This is you separating black people. What the I.S.U.P.K and the Commanding General YAHANNA is doing, Zane, is uniting blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, which are the 12 tribes of Israel. We are uniting the 12 tribes of Israel, God's chosen people. The people who suffered from the hands of these same Africans, the same oppressor, the same heathens. You understand? And still suffering for it. You understand? No. What we are going to do now? Then we are going to read during the 1700s. You understand? During the 1800s, which is 1762. You understand? We are going to read this logbook. And it's going to give us the events that take place. So you know what a logbook is, right? Me used to do security work. So I know what a logbook is. A logbook is you logging events and the particular location. Every ship have a logbook. You understand? Every sailor, well, not every sailor operates the logbook, but you know what I mean? There's a sailor on a ship that is responsible for the logbook, and he would be the guard. Right? There's also security today and ships that have a logbook. Who come on the ship, what time, and who come off of the ship. See? That is what logbook does, is take the event and the time that the event take place concerning the ship. And this logbook is for a slave ship, see, called the Black Prince, that was, you know what I mean, sailing in the West Indies, not just the, you know what I mean, the time that it pull up on Africa, but what take place. And we are going to read through it. Remember, tap up the screen, like, share, subscribe. You understand? You understand? All right. So this says, the logbook from a slave ship. I may have to big up Officer Abadawan because, you know what I mean, him bring, you know what I mean, him pull up this piece of information, which is very, very important. You understand? To what we are trying to tell you now. Zane, very, very valuable piece of information this. Zane. So it said the logbook from a slave ship. The following are extracts from a logbook of the Bristol slave ship, the Black Prince. Saying in 1762, this was when the transatlantic slave trade was in full effect. It was 1 year old. You understand? Let's continue. The logbook remains intact. You know what I mean? You know, see what I read right now, but you can see the page of the logbook, the picture of the page, and the same page right beside the writing. Now, the writing is to explain what this logbook is saying. See? The logbook remains intact today, page. Now, you're not see it on the screen right now, but you know what I mean? Bear with me. See? Slakia, by the way, we do a video with the logbook, so you can go over to the Breakdown podcast page and you will see the logbook or the page. See? The journal of an intended voyage on the ship Black Prince from Bristol to the Gold Coast of Africa, being her 7th to the coast, commencing April the 24th, 1762, was kept by the captain William Miller. So it's at the Gold Coast. Remember the apology when we just play a while ago? Him say, you know what I mean, him need to apologize for the atrocities that take place on the Gold Coast of Ghana and Imina Castle. See? Well, this ship pull up to that same Gold Coast. You understand? This ship called the Black Prince. And it said, the owners of the ship were James Lerrock and Co. That's a company. James, Slakia, we'll find it again. James, Lorek and Co. That is a company. See? More on to the picture because sometimes I believe our people, like, enough people never expect that a slave ship have a logbook. Let me just say that. Like people, you know what I mean? Our people believe, say, people never have no sense back them time. You see, the systems that run today's society existed back then. It's just that today computerized. Them system that it create back then. So as I say, enough people never even expect say a slave ship would have logbooks. Them probably have picture some little barbaric man when no sense. Just a, you know what I mean? Jump in Africa, catch slave and throw them on board. The man them have a system. There was a corporation called James Lorek and Co. that existed. And this was the owner of the ship. That was a company. That would be a company today. You understand? Let me continue reading. The Black Prince left Bristol on the 24th of April, 1762, arriving at the West African coast on the 26th of June. So them reached the African coast the 26th of June. See? The ship stopped first at a place in the West African coast called St. Paul's, and over the next 8 months moved around the coast buying slaves. I want to listen to that, you know. So the ship arrived the 26th of June, and for the next 7 months, it sailed around the coast of West Africa, buying slaves. They never come out and a catch slave. I don't catch them catch slave. Them go buy slaves. You understand? The oppressor didn't go to the west coast of Africa to capture slaves. They went to purchase slaves. Because slaves were being sold in Africa. You understand? Africa is infamous for slave trading. Ethiopia is one of the biggest slave trading colony in Africa. Didn't abolish slavery until Marcus Garvey shamed Haile Selassie about that slave trading. Read this. The ship stopped first at a place in West Africa called St. Paul's, and over the next 7 months, 8 months, moved around the coast buying slaves. The ship never let off the sailor them to go catch nobody. Them come off to buy slaves because somebody was selling slaves. See? Let me read. The captain wrote. So this is what the captain wrote in our logbook. See? June the 30th, at 3 a.m., the longboat came on board with 17 gallon casks of water and some traders with 2 men slaves. Well, on, man, we don't reach nowhere yet, man. But more you pay attention to that. See? Slack here to those on YouTube, slack here about the screen. What me I do is me I read from the computer behind me, so me have to kind of bring down the screen a bit. So slack here about that. But just listen to the audio and hear what we are saying. See? My apologies for that. See? So on the 30th of June, at 3 a.m., 3 a.m. in the morning, a long boat. You go see what that long boat is. Then came on board with, you know what I mean, some traders, some people trading, see it say, with 2 men slaves, 2 slave traders. Who was in these long boats? We so show you. See? Let's scroll down. Let's scroll down. 3rd of August, the Pinnax return, brought some rice, but no slaves. So, you know what I mean? Them return, but them never bring no slave this time. You understand? Because the ship pull up to buy slave. Let me continue. Now listen to this. Please, now beg you, like the video, share it around. Just blast it round in on the chat. Everybody need to hear this. It's time we come out of the stupid sentiment that, you know what I mean, white people go in Africa and capture Africans and bring them over here. No such thing never happened. Africans were selling slaves on the west coast of Africa, and white people go there to buy them. The Africans were not selling Africans though. They were selling us, people that were not native to Africa, but were refugees in Africa, that was prospering in Africa, and they want to get rid of it. You understand? Share on the video, blast it around in your chat. Everybody need to hear the next part. Yeah. You know what I mean? Me are going to 30 seconds to just share on the video. It's sympathy. Just click the share button and just tag some people in your contacts. Share it any way you want to share it. Just tag some people. Just do that. Me are going to 30 seconds to do that. The whole of Jamaica need for this. We need to come out of a little stupidness where we are learning a Rastafariism, which is not the truth. Not the truth. We are not Africans. We are not no Africans. We are a different people. These are the Africans we're going to read about now. And this is what Africans do. This is a ship called the Bristol Slacker, the Black Prince, pull up on the west coast of Africa to buy slaves. And guess who was selling? We're going to read now. The 7th of September, like a British name. Andrew came on board, gave him a keg of brandy. Remember, we're telling us, say, yo, the Africans were trading us for musket gun and wine. Well, Brandon probably nicknamed by his British trading partners. So more likely he got the name from the British, who was his trading partner, but him call himself King Andrew. Because you know these Africans idolize the British. So he welcomed that name. He loved that name. Him not call himself Montube or whatever, or you know, whatever them stupid name the Africans them have. Him call himself King Andrew. A long time these Africans and the British and our oppressor, them have a good standing relationship. Hence the reason why Haile Selassie felt, you know what I mean, the need to flee to Britain whenever he faced, you know what I mean, the invasion from Mussolini. The Africans and the British and the oppressor have a long-standing good relationship from the transatlantic slave trade. So King Andrew was an African trader, probably nicknamed by his British trading partner. And him give them some slave. You understand? These were the people selling slaves on the west coast of Africa. The 20th of September, some canoes came on board with some slaves. All right, we know what a canoe is, right? Let me just Google what a canoe is. Again, my apologies to those watching on YouTube and Facebook. They have to pull on the screen. So in order to see this, you know what I'm reading. My apologies. See? So what is a canoe? Let's see what a canoe is. See? One second. A canoe is a lightweight, narrow water vessel typically pointed at both ends and open and top, propelled by one or more seated, or, you know what I mean, kneel paddlers facing the direction of travel upon a paddle. See? So that is a canoe. And a canoe is infamous with who? Who are known to build canoes? Africans. Africans build canoes. True or false? Somebody tell me. Who are infamous for seaboat? And these canoes pull up with slaves. See? There's this ship called the Black Prince that pull up on the west coast of Africa, not to catch slaves, but to buy slaves. And they were met by several slave traders who are Africans, who were selling slaves. You understand? Let me read this again. The 20th, so this is a logbook from a slave ship, logging the information and the date. And it said, the 20 canoes came on board with some slaves, but could only buy slacker, but could not buy any but one man. So they came on board to the ship that pulled up at the west coast of Africa. They came with slaves, but we could not buy any but just one slave. One slave. So what we are trying to tell you is that the oppressor did not go into Africa and capture anybody. That did not happen. What happened was they pulled up on the Africa and sold them slave trade. The Africans and the slave ports and West Africa. After them raid, burn down your cities, burn down your land, your vegetation, burn down your houses, rape your wife, slaughter your picnic them, then bring them to these slave ports, and the white man pull up and then give them some wine, some gun. You understand? That is what take place. It's very important for us to know, so that we can shed ourselves of the lie. No, it was Africans selling Israelites into slavery. And again, we're going to pull that book out. No, first, we're going to jump to the Zandavan, and we're going to show you who is in Africa. Understand? And our religious leaders are very gullible. See? And when you check it, you can't blame them, because at the end of the day, at the oppressor's history and what the oppressor say we are, them following. And them never have no other source. You understand? The Most High is doing, because the Most High want the truth come out through one medium and one medium only, and that is the I.S.U.P.K and the commanding general. Yana. So we can't do not them all them for know, them couldn't know. They couldn't know. So the Most High want the truth come out. You understand? See? But we're going to show you who is an African. This world is break up into bloodlines. I'm going to just make that straight. See? Bloodlines. There's no such thing as mixed. There's no such thing as we are all one. Then if so be the case, all cat is the same cat. The lion and the tiger are the same. The zebra, not the zebra, the cheetah and the leopard are the same. And we know that is not the case. But them are all cats, but them are different species of cats. You understand? Them can mate with each other. You understand? Them can mate with each other and bring even forth offspring. And are the same way the Most High make we. So even though the Africans them are human beings too, we are not them. We look like them. Them say, me still not see it. We have the same complexion. But I know we and them alone have the same complexion. The East Indian them have the same complexion too. See? We have the same complexion, so everybody get frightened about that now. But we are not the same bloodline, not the same people, not the same culture, not the same spirit. We now have the same spirit. The Africans, them will eat literally feces, brother. I'm okay with it, brother. We can't do that. The Africans, them, what the Africans them call, all right, look upon this person right us. Like a madman in them, but that fit to be a first thing a Jamaican would have think. If this was a Jamaican, would have say, is a madman that. But him is a functioning African. Anyway, that's okay. We're going to jump to ham, see? I mean, that's how it's going on. We're going to jump to ham. We're going to show you who the Africans are. We're going to show you the difference between we and them. See? So this is Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood. Now, the flood, this major flood that is not only recorded by the Bible, not only recorded by the history, our history book, which is the Bible, it's recorded throughout all our history. Well, during this flood, 8 people survived this flood. You understand? And that man, the man whose family that was, his name is Noah. You understand? Noah. He had 3 sons. Ham, right? These 3 sons populated the earth after the flood. See? This is history. When I tell you, you see, that's why we tell you that the Bible is not a religious book. Because here you have a dictionary. I'm going to tell you who come from this particular person. These are things that the religious leaders don't care about. Yeah, only historians care about them things. I don't care how you want to deny the Bible, history still go back straight to the Bible. And the Bible is a history book. You understand? You don't care how them are trying to navigate around the Bible, because them not like say the Bible have laws and it burn out LGBT and all them things there. History up to things that happen in the Bible. Because the Bible is the only accurate history that stand the test of time. You understand? Let me continue reading. See? So it said, the youngest son of Noah, born probably 96 years before the flood, and one of the 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races. So this Ham, him became the progenitor, I mean to progenitor. So let me look up the meaning of the word so forget it, the proper meaning. You know what I mean? So progenitor basically I talk about the father. Progenitor. 1 second. progenitor. In the meanwhile, remember, tap up the screen, like, share, subscribe. All right, so this says a person or thing from which a person, animal, or plant is descended or originates from an ancestor or parent. So progenitor mean your father, your forefather. See? That is what a pro is. So there's many dark races that come from Ham. Who these dark races are. See? Watch this now. So it said, he became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes. Hold on, we need to put that in. Not the Negroes. So he is the progenitor of the dark races except the Negroes. Who are the Negroes? We are the Negroes. See? We are the Negroes. But this is who Ham is the father of. Let me show you. So it said, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians. Now, who are the Egyptians? Africans. The Egyptians are Africans. See? You know how your black conscious leaders, them, you know what I mean, who smoke a lot of weed. Them like to tell you about Egypt and Kemet. You know what I mean? Yeah. Those are Africans. And them like to tell you how great Africa was because of Egypt. Well, Egypt or Matazariam, which is the name of the man who is the descendant of the Egypt, who is the father of the Egyptians. His father is Ham. So Ham had a man, you know what I mean, had a son called Matazariam, see, which is the father of the Egyptians. See? Now, all right, let me just sidebar a bit. There's no land called Egypt. There's no land called Egypt. The black conscious leaders, them are going to tell you, say, the land was called Kemet. Yeah, that would be the name of the land, or Kamat. Something like that. Or Kam, which comes from Ham. Or Kam means hot. You know what I mean? Because being hot means you would have become dark. Because these people were so dark skinned, they said they must be hot Kam, which is Ham. Ham was Ham, them father, his name was Kam in the Hebrew. See? Our son of Kam. See? So that is what Kemet come from. There's no land called Egypt. No. Egypt about Egypt, it is talking about our slavery. So the reason why I see Egypt right here is because this was the land that we were in bondage in. But to the people them in Egypt now are the Hamites, the Kemites, or whatever them is, Matazariam, which is the name of the man. See? He is a descendant of Ham. He's an African. Then continue. The Ethiopians, so the Egyptians, them quote unquote, and the Ethiopians are brothers. These are their brothers, right? The Ethiopians and the Egyptians, Africans. These are brothers. You understand? These are these people. The man we see on the screen, that's their brother. You understand? Let me tell you, I'm show you again now. The Libyans, you know Libya? These are some more Africans. These are his brothers. These are descendants of Ham. See? Not the Negroes. The Negroes are not descendants of Ham, even though they are black or dark skinned. We are dark skinned. We are the Negroes. The Canaanites. Who are the Canaanites? The South Africans. See? You remember the Canaanites in the Bible? These very people. They are not fairy tale. We did, the Most High told us to wipe out the Canaanites them. We did not wipe out all of them. See them in South Africa, they are flourish. And I analyze anybody that them feel like, say, boy, a thief work from them and money from them in South Africa. See, those are the Canaanites. And they are certainly a barbaric type of people. See, that's them, the South Africans is a Canaanite. You understand? This is not fiction. It's not fairy tale. It's just that the oppressor call them something different today. The oppressor rule the earth, so he call everybody a different name, so nobody don't know them are who. The oppressor rule the earth, so he change the name of every land. So, you know what I mean? Africa is no longer, you know what I mean, the land of Ham or whatever the hell that did name. It's now Africa, name after a Romanus. The word Africa literally is a white man name. So, no, one of my things say Africa, I.S.U.P.K Africanus. Slack. Father Africa, that is a white man name. I.S.U.P.K Africanus, a Roman general. Because white people are Romans that rule the earth, so them rename the land. They rename it. And you have Rastafari and I talk about Mama Africa. Father Africa, brother. your white father, your white daddy. Okay. The land in name must be Kam or some crap like that. Or some people say Ethiopia was a full name. I don't think the whole land the name Ethiopia, but probably majority. You understand? Or whatever them children of Ham. See? The earth is broken up into families that are so most time. This family over here, that family over there, that family over there. And him have a particular people who him call him family. And that is us. The people who create everything, make it out with the world. If we weren't here, the earth would be boring. That's the Most High's family. But we're disobedient, so him leave us to our own demise. And that is why these bastards right here was able to catch us and sell us to. You understand? That is what took place. We are not no funky African. If you ask me, we don't even look like them. But that are me know a difference. You understand? We are not no Africans. Stop making Rastafari brethren with smoke a ton of weed. Educate you. You can imagine somebody who are destroying birds with that which don't read. Most of them do. The rest of them will read are the one them will not smoke. And what them read is Pan-African madness. You understand? You're going to make a man with destroying brain cell daily teach about life. All right. Would you make somebody who smoke weed? Would you make a doctor who, you know what I mean, smoke weed straight throughout the day, perform heart surgery for you? No. I just tell you, my answer for you, no. You're not going to do it. If you find out say the doctor in an office smoke weed, them so come to perform heart surgery for you. You're afraid. So why you make weed heads that tell you about history? That is just as important. You understand? That is very important, your history as to who you are. Remember with there, so no know who is, you know, how is that even possible? The Africans, the Europeans, them know them are who. How we don't know we are who. We are tied ourselves to the Africans them in a shame because the Africans are look on and I say, but none of them people have 4 parents kick out Thailand. And them a call we They must say we are them. All right, come, reggae music, dancehall. Yeah, we are one brothers. Yeah, dancehall, yeah. And them love your culture. That's the only thing, but guess what? They never love you during the time of the transatlantic slave trade. It was a nuisance. You understand? We were a nuisance to them and them get you out of them land. Now, you are of value to them because you create a culture that them like and them can get rich off. But you see, as soon as them no need you no more, them learn a craft as good as them can, trust me, I'll monopolize them, I'll monopolize that. I'll lock you out of your own thing. Like how the oppressor control all our thing them. Make money, get rich off of everything that we created. The Africans are going to do the same. Them just go and butter you up right now until them can say, yo, you know what, we don't need cartel to come perform down here, so we have our own cartel. And watch out. You see them mimic we all the while, why them can't create somebody as talented as what we do. Them can't do it. Them not have the spirit where the Most High put in a way. None of these nations now have the spirit of the Most High put in a way. That's why we're greater than them. You understand? Things what we're doing at the ghetto is magical to them. It's so amazing. It amazes them. I saw the Most High make way. But we don't see nothing yet. We need to come back to the Most High and make the Most High show what really is. We don't know who is yet. We just don't yourself suffer. This is not what the Most High made us to be, brethren. They never make us to be some just merely some entertainers. He made us to rule the earth. This is our planet, our place. But we are servants in it because we're disobedient and we want to be them sitting here. That you want to be? Look on that. This you want to be, brethren? Come tell me about your proud that you're African way. We are an African, brother. The Africans kick us out. You understand? You know, like when, all right, you live in our community for years, and you're old enough to know, say, that person migrated to your community. They are not foundation. You understand? Picture it like that. But just picture it like this. You is a bad mind person that see the people that prosper in your community and you want them to live. Because you can't stand it. It brings shame to you that you not then away and them are prosper. And that happened to we in Africa, brethren. We constantly have a war with Africans then. That was life. They were our enemies. Of course, we trade with them, yes. But them was our enemy. They weren't friends. Eventually, them get the upper hand. Them get guns, and them was able to defeat because we're better than them. But then get guns. You understand? All right, so let me read it again. Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of the 80 persons to live through the flood. So this Ham, seeing, he became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes. Seeing? But the Egyptians, Africans, the Ethiopians, Libyans, Canaanites, these are the Africans. These are the Hamites, not the Negroes. We are Negroes. We are the Negroes. We are the ones that the oppressor didn't know, say, I never Africans in my buying a slave. No. So you call it something different, Negroes. And some of the slave receipt them and put Hebrew slave. We're going to pull out that in another class and some other videos. Hebrew slave, literal Hebrew slave. You understand? So That's what we are trying to tell you. It's not popular and it's not well-known information. By now, you have gone deep into the lie that we are Africans, and many of our people have attached ourselves to Africa, you know what I mean, through the Rastafari community and through Pan-Africanism, and can't imagine to let go that now to say, yo, me know better, and turn away from that because of the shame. Me understand, but we are not African. No matter where you want to believe, we are not Africans. You understand? See him like a Christian now. When we tell them, say, yo, look, the Bible is not about no Christianity, brethren. The Bible is black people history. We are the Israelites in the Bible. Christianity is a poison that the oppressor give us so that we don't ever come to the understanding of the Bible. Jesus was a black man. The Israelites are black. You know what I mean? The Bible is a black man book. It's hard for a Christian to turn from that. Same way as it's hard for a Rasta turn from Rastafariism and this African madness. You understand? So, yeah. So we just read the logbook where, let me read this again. We read from September the 7th, saying where it said, King Andrew came on board, gave him a keg of brandy. The king, King Andrew was an African trader, a slave trader, seeing, probably nicknamed by his British trading partner. So this slave ship pulled up on the west coast of Africa to buy slaves. And it said in the logbook of the slave ship, seeing, the captain wrote that for 8 months, he sailed along the coast of Africa buying slaves, not catching slaves, you know, buying slaves, because the Africans were selling slaves. See? Now, when you jump down to the 20th of September, it says some canoes who were riding in these canoes, the Africans, came on board with some slaves. See? But could not buy any one man. So the captain said, the canoes pull up with slaves, couldn't buy none but just one. Africans them didn't make a killing out of selling slaves. You understand? That was the transatlantic slave. I jump to the book of Exodus chapter 11 and 7, and it said, but against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that he may know how that the Lord does put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. Why the Most High have to do that? We just read that the Egyptians them come from Ham. See, the Israelites don't come from Ham, but we might look like the Egyptians them to an extent. But we're gonna make the difference between, you know what I mean, we and these Egyptians. When we have the Most High on our side, the Most High will show you. How the Most High show with the last time? Well, when these Africans had us in Egypt in slavery, what the Most High do? Most High destroy Egypt. Egypt was world power at that time, like America is today. The Most High destroy Egypt for some people that was slave in Egypt, because the Most High value us. Don't value these Egyptians. And you shouldn't feel sorry for the Egyptians them, because the Egyptians them don't value you. Them sell in slavery. See? Them don't value you. These other nations don't value you, only the Most High value us. Look how the world portrays us as being the gangster, the thief, our sister. But the Most High don't see it that way there. The Most High see it as fame people. And that is why it is very important for we let go these religions and come back to the Most High. Keep him laws them. Get inside the I.S.U.P.K and about YAHANNA. You see, we are beat by our culture, everything. You know what I mean? We are cut off the full dreads, them and we are real locks. These are locks, braids. See? We are wear about our shield. You understand? We are aware about them thing. We headband, we crowns, them thing there. We are aware about the fringes. We are aware about the garments. Then we are put back the spirit back into the people and shedding all of them sickness we learn from these other nations throughout these thousands of years. You think of 400 years? Thousands of years we are learn madness from them Eden. Yeah. We need to shed that now. Time now. You understand? The most I wrap up things you know. This world, this oppressor's kingdom will come to an end. World War III is certain, like how the sun rising in the morning is certain. You know what I mean? Certain. We need to come back to a true identity, which none of you don't know. And we can say that boldly. And you should wonder why we can say that boldly and it still be the truth. Is because what we are saying is the truth. You understand? Get inside these classes. You will call for people them in mass. See, I feel like Jamaica, I will say it again. I feel like Jamaicans can wake up in mass. Yeah, man. I don't know about nowhere else, you know. I'm going to follow it in mass. You understand? So I know you can wake up in mass and work towards it. I'm just stay tuned. See? And with that, we're going to jump to the security announcement now. I'll close out the class. If you don't have any question, please leave it in the chat. We are the I.S.U.P.K Jamaica. See? Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commanding General YAHANNA. Commanding General YAHANNA is the man with the plan. He's the one who's waking up Israel. When you do the maths, who are bringing out no new information that is of value? Who are take our people off drugs? Who are fix Israel today? Eh? Who are fixed Israel today? The Rastafari community. Right now, we are learning that the Rastafari community very, very shaky. No integrity. That's what we are learning about Rastafariism. See, the Christian church, no, the Christian church, they might get exposed. Your fake Hebrew Israelites do what we do. They might get exposed. Stand firm. You know what I mean? We are bringing the truth to you right now. We need enough wake up. See? And with that, we're going to jump to the security announcements. All right, these are the I.S.U.P.K security announcements, where the I.S.U.P.K started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Command Sisters. With a new, they are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he must get permission. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, you can find this in the book of Numbers chapter 18 and 21 and Malachi chapter 3 verse 8 to 10, means tenth in the Hebrew and is pronounced ma'aishara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. So go over to isupk.com, pay your tithes, support the truth. We have the I.S.U.P.K Passover coming up soon. Just stay tuned for more information on that. You know what I mean? If you're in the United States, it's being held in Atlanta. So if you're in the United States, if you're a Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian and you want to attend the Passover, just give us a call. See? Yeah, man. Free will offering for nation. So we have the Feast of Purim, which is the 13th of March, sundown, to the 14th of March, sundown. See? Stay tuned to I.S.U.P.K for that too as well. You understand? Of course, you know them have them Easter come up. So we know Easter now have nothing to do with us. Easter, Christmas, Valentine's Day. You understand? Which as we bring out in classes and we bring out in videos, these are the worship of other gods, idols. You know what I mean? Vain worship. But it's a disrespect to our God that we have a covenant with. See? So don't celebrate no Easter. Celebrate the Feast of Purim. The Passover is coming up. In contact with us. You understand? All right, so reminding Akiam and Akwatiam to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, he needs to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. And with that, we're going to say the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew and then in English. So, Sarwa Panya Akwadam, which means turn and face the east. We're going to start in English. Abanawa, Shabashamayam, Kwadash, Aya, Shamka, Yahawa, Malakwatka, Taba'a, Ratazaka, Aya, Aisha, Arataza, Kowa, Aya, Washamayam, Nathanganawa, Lakam, Kal, Yawam, Wasalaklanawa, Kawabwatnawa, Kasalatnawa, Kawabwatanawa, Wala'a, Tabaya Anawa, Wanasayawan, Abal, Awashainawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwa, Wa'ala, Wathapara, Lai Walamium, Aman. In English, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Amen. Sarah, which means to turn, we're going to give one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, I'm Adim Shabbat, I'm Adim, Barak, Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Barak Thumb. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the sisters, men of Israel, I'm Adim Shabbat, I'm Adim, Barak, Yahweh Shamar Alathan Ba'asham Yahweh Shai. Yadamata, class dismissed. All right, with that, if you don't have any questions, post them now before we close out. You know what I mean? You know the thing, go like, share, subscribe, depending on the platform you're watching on. We are the I.S.U.P.K Jamaica under command in General YAHANNA. All right, so Friday, we have the Breakdown podcast, 9:30. So tune into that. You know what I mean? We go live on I.S.U.P.K Jamaica, YouTube and Facebook, and also on the page, the TikTok page, Breakdown podcast. See? And also classes keep Sunday, 3 p.m. You understand? Wednesdays, 3 p.m. No, like Wednesday, 7 p.m. And also we have another show, you know what I mean, hosted Office of 1,000 Abada one called The Conflict Zone, you know what I mean, which is another excellent show again, you know what I mean, we break down things concerning World War III and much more. So I want to tune into that as well. Go over to I.S.U.P.K online classes, subscribe to that. Go to I.S.U.P.K North Carolina or Durham, all the schools. Basically just search up the I.S.U.P.K on YouTube team. You know what I mean? Go to Command in General YAHANNA, the real Command in General YAHANNA YouTube channel. You know what I mean? So you can have a show on Mondays called the Black Watch. You need to tune into that. You know what I mean? That is where the basically get we call it the breakdown of the kingdom of heaven. You know what I mean? If you want to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, man. You know what I mean? That is where you go. And with that, follow this page, like, share, subscribe. Shalom.